Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Nyambohanse Teacher. I'm live from my living room. Today I'm not going to talk about general things. I'm going to delve into the misused forms. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to start. So as you join the live, everyone that is gonna join the live, I believe we're going to love what I'm going to say. And then of course we have misused forms uh, that are normally used to in speech. So let us learn them very fast. In fact, this is a book. This is a whole booklet. So I'm just going to move bit by bit so that we understand what we are saying. So we have many misuse forms. We have prepositions. We're going to talk about prepositions. Most people have a problem when talking about prepositions because it is difficult to match the correct preposition. We have structured preposition combinations that they require somebody to master them. So we are going just to learn them bit by bit. So if you look at this booklet, it is old, but the information that is there is new. So using the wrong preposition. Mistakes are often made by using wrong prepositions after certain words. The following lists includes the words which most often give trouble. So these are selected prepositions that you find that most students or most people, when speaking, they don't use it correctly. So I think I'm going to have this live for around 30 minutes and then I'll see how it goes. So we have absorbed, very much interested. It means that you're interested in something. So we have, you say, uh, absorbed in, but not at. So you don't say that I'm absorbed in my work. I'm absorbed at my work. You see, you say, for example, you can, in our example here, somebody can say, the man was absorbed in his work. If you look at the first statement, you're not supposed to say the man was absorbed at his work. So if you say the man was absorbed at his work, then you're very wrong. So it is correct to say the man was absorbed in his work. And we have learned here that absorbed means very much interested in something. For even the word interesting you use in. The second, accused of, not for. So you should not say accused for something. You say accused of. In our example here, you can see, you're not supposed to say she accused the man for stealing. That is a wrong form. So you're supposed to say she accused the man of stealing. So you say she accused the man of stealing, but not for. So and then charge, we are supposed to note something there. Let me zoom in. Charge takes with. The man was charged with murder. So you don't say the charged for murder. Most people say that, especially speakers that are non-indigenous, or speakers that are not indigenous. So you say the man was accused of stealing, not the man was accused for stealing. That one will be a wrong form. Okay, the next third form, accustomed to. You say she's accustomed to something, not with. If you say she's accustomed with something, that is not going to be right. Yeah, so we are going to move like that and we're going to learn. So stay up to the end and remember to like the live as we continue. Okay, nice. So accustomed to, not with. So for example, you don't say I am accustomed with hot weather. You should say I am accustomed to. hot weather. You should note, a point to note, or also used to. You cannot say, yeah, you're supposed to say he's used to. He is used to the heat. So being accustomed is like you're used to something. And then next, you will say afraid of, not from. So if you look at these are preposition combinations that remain like that. If student can ask you why, or anybody can ask you, why do you use of and not from? This is just a combine. It is just like that. Okay. So if you look at these statements, example, you should not say Laura is afraid from the dog. You say that Laura is afraid of the dog. If you look at this part, Laura is afraid of the dog, not from the dog. If you do that, it is not going to be correct. If we move to the next page, if you look at this page here clearly, we are still in the first page, so we are good to go. Aim, you say aim at. You say aim at, not on or against. You'll say aim at, not on or against. You don't say she aimed on, or you should not say she aimed against the target. So you should say she aimed at the target. She aimed at the target. That means maybe the person is an archer. He wants to, or she wants to aim at something. So you use the correct preposition combination at. So you say note. There's a point of note here. There's a point of note here. Use the preposition at to denote direction. So it is a preposition of direction. We have different types of prepositions, but this one is denotes or shows preposition. So for example, throw at, shout at, fire at, shoot at. Yeah. So to shoot at, to shoot without the at, it means to kill. For example, he shot a bird. For example, he shot a bird. That means he hit and killed the bird. But if you say she shot at the bird, it does not necessarily mean that anything even happened. It does not necessarily mean that he's killing that particular something or that particular thing. That means just aiming at this particular thing. He can miss or he can get it correctly. Let's move very fast so that we don't waste time. Angry. Angry with. Angry with, not against. So you should not say that the teacher was angry against him. You say that the teacher was angry with him. So if you are speaking to anybody, you're speaking to students, you're speaking to any other person in a, you're speaking in any gathering, you should use correct prepositions like that. So stick up the end so that you get right. Okay. There's a point to note here. These points to note are very important. I'm going to maximize so that you see. We get angry. You get okay. You get angry. You get angry with a person, but at a thing. So if you're using this preposition with, you say he was angry at the weather, not with the weather. So you should get that clearly. I hope you're gaining something. So if you look at this here, there's this point to note. That means you can use both angry with and angry at. So the point to note here is we can get angry with a person, but angry at a thing. A thing is something that is not living. So you can say he was angry at the weather, but you cannot say angry with the weather. You can say angry with a person. Also, annoyed with, vexed with, indignant with a person, but at a thing. So I hope that is very clear. Okay, and then I hope number 6 is very important. I hope you've gotten it right. Okay, number 7, form number 7 says anxious. Being anxious, maybe you're troubled about something. So the correct preposition to use after anxious, you'll say anxious about something, not for something. So you should not say they are anxious for his health. You say they are anxious about his health. So this preposition about is the correct form to use with the word anxious. So you say anxious about. You should not say anxious for. That is what you can see here in our two examples. They are anxious for his health. You should say they are anxious about his health, not for his health. There's also a point to note here, and these points to note are very important. If you look at this sentence or this word here, note anxious meaning wishing very much takes for. Parents are anxious for their children's success. That means about, it means maybe you are troubled about something. So, for example, in our sentence here, if you look at this sentence here, they are troubled about the health of this particular person. So they'd have to use the correct form to be about. So they will say anxious about his health. I'm repeating this because there are people that have just joined the live. Thank you for joining the live, people. There's a point to note here. Anxious, meaning wishing very much, takes the form for. For example, parents are anxious for their children's success. So that means there is no trouble. It's just anxiety. They just wish that their children succeed in their exams or any other thing. So if you look at this statement here, you say anxious about if you're maybe you're concerned about somebody's health. But if you are just wishing for something, you use anxious for. I hope that is very clear. All right, we move to number 8. I target to reach 30 at the end of this live. Arrive at. So you should use arrive at, not to. For example, in our good sentence here, we arrived to the village at night. That is not what we're supposed to say. So you should not say we arrived to the village at night. You should say we arrived at the village at night. Okay? So, okay. And then points to note here. Use arrive in with countries and large cities. For example, Mr. Smith has arrived in London or New York or India. So you cannot say that Mr. Smith has arrived at London. Okay, so you use at in a small geographical area. For example, in a village. Okay, even in a school, you can say arrived at school. But you use in when you're talking about a big geographical area or region. Okay, yeah. And then we move very fast to the next. Ashamed of. Somebody can be ashamed of somebody, not ashamed from. So don't say he is now ashamed from his conduct. You should say he's now ashamed of his conduct. So that simply means that of is the most appropriate form of this particular word ashamed. So we are learning that these misused forms, most people have a problem. So we are trying, or rather I'm trying to, at least help people from all over the world or from wherever they are watching so that they can get the correct form here. So if you check, there's a point to note here, which is very key or very important. Note, it isn't correct to use ashamed of meaning shy. Yeah. So when you mean shy, that means you should not use form. Just check it. I'm redoing it again. That it isn't correct to use ashamed of meaning shy. Maybe somebody is ashamed to look at people, girls, or any other person. So we should not say that when we mean that person is shy. Ashamed means feeling shame or guilt about something. Shy means feeling nervous with someone. Maybe somebody is not comfortable with a person. Instead of saying I'm ashamed or ashamed of my teacher, say I'm shy of my teacher. So you can only be ashamed of somebody, meaning that you have guilt or you're feeling shame. But if you maybe you are shy for that particular about with that particular person, or you're just feeling nervous about that particular person, you can say that I am shy of my teacher. Most students are maybe they're afraid to look at the teacher, or they are shy when their teachers are around. So you should be very careful to know that this misused form, some of them they can be used but in different contexts. Thank you for your likes. So you should know how they are used together. So sometimes we can use ashamed of, but when you use ashamed of, I'm repeating here because there are people that have just joined the live. If you say ashamed of here, it is incorrect to use ashamed of meaning shy. Ashamed means feeling shame or guilt about something. That means when you look at something, you become ashamed. But shy means feeling nervous with someone. That means you're not comfortable with the person around you. So instead of saying, I'm ashamed of my teacher, that you should just say, I am shy of my teacher. That means maybe you're not comfortable when the teacher is not around, when he's around. You're nervous about that particular person. Thank you. Thank you very much. We move very fast to the next forms. Believe in. Believe in, not to. You can say, I believe in God. So you should not say, don't say, don't say, we believe to God. Don't say, we believe to God. You say, we believe in God. We believe in God. So this is the correct form. This is the correct preposition combination. Believe is a verb. It's a doing word. So in is a preposition. So these ones are preposition combinations. Okay. So note, to believe in means to have faith in. So to believe without the in means to regard something as true. I believe everything he says. So this is the difference. So if you say, I believe in something, that means you have faith in something. But if you say believe without even having the preposition in, it means you just agree. You regard something to be true. Okay? I hope that is sunk in. Okay. The next word is boast of. Boast of or about. Not for. You cannot say boast for, but you can say boast of or about, depending on the context. So don't say James boasted for his strength. You can say that James boasted of his strength. Or you can say James boasted about his strength. So that the two preposition combinations can fit in there correctly. The next is careful of. Careful of, with, or about. So it means this word careful can be used with both these words, prepositions of, with, and even about, but you cannot use for. So here we should not say that, for example, in our sentence, LK is very careful for her health. I think most people or most speakers use with. You should say that Elke is very careful of or about her health. Or you should be more careful with your money. So they can be used interchangeably like that. Note, take care of. He takes care of his money. So this one can be used like that. Takes care of his money. It can also be used in that particular manner, in that context. That means is looking after. looking after his money so that it's not lost. Okay. And then we move to number 13, travel by train or any other means of transport. We have prepositions that show means of transport. Travel by train, not with the train. You say travel by train, not with the train. So we have prepositions of directions, we have prepositions of movement, we have prepositions of time, and so many others. So here I'm just talking about the prepositions of means of travel. If you have joined this live for the first time, remember to like the live to support me. Subscribe to the channel so that anytime I post my videos, you'll see them. So we are still talking about misused forms. I have so far gone for 21 minutes and we are now in number 13. So travel by train, not with the train, etc. So you should not say he traveled with the train yesterday. You should say he traveled by train yesterday. You say that he traveled by train yesterday. Yeah, so that is that. Not, we can say by train, by boat, by plane, by bike. Also by hand, by land, by sea, by air, by bus, in a bus or on a bus. So these ones are means of transport. So that's why I was saying that we have different types of prepositions, but these ones, when you talk about by, it shows the means of transport. Okay. Though you can say I traveled in a bus or on a bus. Or it depends now if this article is there. If it is not there, you'll have to use by. Okay. When you talk about in a bus, when you're traveling on a bus, somebody can travel on a bus or in a bus. Some people can be on top of a bus. I think that is when somebody can say you're traveling on a bus. In a bus, that means now you are inside, you're occupying the internal part of the bus. So that means you're traveling in a bus, but it's okay. Yeah, so that is that. Okay, one very important aspect here. Okay, you can travel by car or in a car, by taxi, in a taxi, on horseback, on a donkey, on a bicycle, on foot. So you cannot say that I traveled by foot. You say that I traveled on foot. That one will be really, really appropriate form to use here. Okay. And then we move. Next is complain about, not for. Complain about. Don't say that Annette complained for the weather. You'll say that Annette complained about the weather. Annette complained about the weather. So that clearly shows that this about is the most appropriate preposition combination of the word complain. And complain is a verb, is a doing word. So you should say complain about, not for. For example, I've used here an example. Annette complained for the weather. So you should say the correct one should be Annette complained about the weather. Note, a point to note, when talking about illness, we use complain of. We say, for example, she complained of a sore throat. You should not say she complained about a sore throat. Okay, that is based. I'm talking about an illness. We move to the next, number 15, composed of, not from. Don't say our class is composed from 30 students. You'll say that our class is composed of 30 students. Maybe the poem is comprised of. So of is the most appropriate preposition combination to this word here, composed. And composed is a verb. Yeah, thank you for joining my live. Thank you for liking. Keep liking the live so that you support me, and you can also share for everyone. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so that you get it right what we are going to say. We are moving very fast and very keenly, so we want that by the end of the live you shall have garnered or gained a lot of concepts you shall have learned. I think if I reach number 30 there, I think it will be enough, because I want you to learn step by step. Okay, number 16, confidence in, not to. Don't say I have confidence to you. You will say that I have great confidence in you. So you say, I repeat, you should not say I have great confidence to you. You should therefore say I have great confidence in you. So you are confident in somebody or in something. Not in confidence. Not in confidence. Let me tell you something in confidence. That means you tell somebody or something as a secret. Okay, we move to number 17. Conform to. That means you're used to something. Not with. You should not say, or don't say, we must conform with the rules, but you say we must conform to the rules. So you should not say we must conform with the rules, but you say we must conform to the rules. That is the most appropriate form here. So you should not comply takes with. Will comply with your requests. So comply also takes with, but conform takes to. So I will repeat by saying we must conform with the rules. But we should not say that we must conform with the rules, but we should say we must conform to the rules. So this one is the most appropriate, or this is the appropriate form to use. It is appropriate preposition combination with the word conform. And I've also said that comply takes with. Thank you. We move to the next, number 18. Congratulate on, not for. It is a very debatable here. Most people will say I congratulate you for your hard work. So don't say I congratulate you for your success. I should say I congratulate you on your success, though this one is very debatable. There are people that say congratulate on, congratulate for. So there we can have a debate in the comment section. You can tell me whether this is right. Is it right to say congratulate on, or is it right to say congratulate for, and why? If you support by saying congratulate for, tell us why. If you say congratulate on, you tell us why. That is okay. Next, number 19. Consist of, not from. Don't say a year consists from 12 months. You should say that a year consists of. Consists, not consist. A year consists of 12 months. A year consists of 12 months. So of is the most appropriate form to use with the word consists. Thank you for your likes, guys. Note, take great care never to use consists in the passive form. So when you're talking about passive ways, then you should not use consists. Okay. I will not delve into that, because we are now not talking about passive and active voice, but then that is that. Okay, number 20. The correct form is covered with, not by. Covered with, not by. Don't say the mountains are covered by snow. But otherwise you should say the mountains are covered with or in snow. You should say that the mountains are covered with snow, or the mountains are covered in snow. But the most appropriate there would be the mountains are covered with snow. Okay, number 21, cure of, not from. An example, you should not say the man was cured from his illness, but you should say the man was cured of his illness. So this one is the most Rather, this is the correct form to use here. So note the noun cure takes for. Now note the noun cure takes for. There is no cure for that disease. That the noun cure, we have the word cure, it can be used as a noun or as a verb. A cure. Cure for. There's a cure for that disease. But if you use it as a verb, I think it will be of. So if you say the man was cured of his illness, so it means now this one becomes a verb. If it is used as a verb, the correct form is of. If it is used as a noun here, as you can see, we can use for. He has a cure for. Thank you. Depend on. Depend on or upon. Not from. Don't say it depends from her, but you see, you say it depends on her or upon her. But the most speakers use depend on, not rely on or upon. You can say I can't rely on him or I can't rely upon him. But then the most appropriate here is on. You can say rely on, depend on. Those ones are agreeable forms, or they are agreed forms. We move to number 23. Just imagine now we have talked about number 23. If you have not watched up to there, you can replay it at the end of the live stream and you can watch and learn. Remember that we shall be doing this severally so that you learn every day so that it can stick to your mind. Okay, deprive. Number 23. Deprive of, not from. She's deprived of. Don't say Nelson Mandela was deprived from. Nelson Mandela was deprived from his freedom. You should not say that, but you should say that Nelson Mandela was deprived of his freedom. So you should use deprived of, not from. So you should not say that Nelson Mandela was deprived from his freedom, but say Nelson Mandela was deprived of his freedom. Okay? Right. Number 24. Number 24. Die of an illness. Die of an illness, not from an illness. You cannot say that she died from his illness. You could better say that she died of an illness. If you look at this statement here, don't say many people have died from malaria, but say many people have died of malaria. I think this one, when you be doing gap filling questions, when you be speaking in front of people, is going to be very important. Note, people die of illness, of hunger, of thirst, of or from wounds, from overwork, by violence. Die by violence, that means by the sword, by pestilence, in battle. People die in battle for their country, that is patriotism, for a cause, through neglect. Somebody can be neglected and die. On the scaffold, can be neglected, can die on a scaffold or at the stake. Yeah, so this number 24 is very important. If you have not captured it very well, you can ask me in the comment section, or you can, after the end of the live stream, you can replay so that you get it right. Thank you for keeping up. Okay, number 25, different from, not than, different from something. You should not say, my book is different than yours, but then you should say, my book is different from yours. Say, my book is different from yours. That one is going to be very nice. Yeah, the book is different from yours. Number 26. Number 26. Disappointed by, about, or at. You can say I'm disappointed by you, disappointed about, disappointed at. Cannot say disappointed from. It's not going to make sense. So let us see in which scenarios do we use by, at, and about. Don't say Philippa was disappointed from the low mark she got in the test. Then rather, I should say Philippa was disappointed by, or about, or at the low mark she got in the test. When do you, okay, what about win or with or in? Don't say Jane was disappointed from her son, but then you should say that Jane was disappointed with. Jane was disappointed with or in her son. Okay? And then point to note, the before a person we use with. So that means you're going to be disappointed with Paul, with Charles, with any other person. Okay? Before a thing we use at. For example, a door. Disappointed at this door. About or by, and become, and before a gerund we use at. I'm going to repeat this so that it becomes clear. Note, before a person we use with or in. So you can say that I'm disappointed with you. That means you're speaking to somebody. Before a thing we use at, about, or by, and before a gerund we use at. For example, Keith was very disappointed at not winning the prize. We use that optional before nucleus. I was disappointed that I didn't get an invitation. Last but not least, think could be last for today. Divide into parts, not in pairs. Don't say I divided the cake in 4 parts. You should say that I divided the cake into 5 parts. I divided the cake into 5 parts. Note, a thing may be divided in half or 2. Paul divided the apple in half. Yeah, so I'm going to repeat the last preposition as I wind up the live, because I think in a lesson, one lesson, it's enough for now. A lesson usually takes 40 minutes. I think it is also almost 40 minutes. I believe my students or any other person that likes English is getting it. You should use divide into, not in parts, anytime. So you should not say I divided the cake in 4 parts. I divided the cake in 4 parts. Say I divided the cake into 4 parts. Yeah. So that is that. Yeah, so we have come to the end of the live. Anyone that has joined the live, you have gained, you've learned a lot, 1 or 2 things. I will also, if you find time, I'll also make another video tomorrow or in the evening on the same. And if you've not gotten this after the end of the stream, you can replay the live and learn. Let us keep learning. Remember to subscribe to my channel, watch all my videos so that anytime I upload my videos, you get a notification. Thank you for watching my live. This is Nabwanse Teacher. Have a lovely evening. Goodbye.